On the news tonight, first the headlines. Tinubu writes Senate seeks approval for military action against Niger. Tinubu withdraws Miriam Shetty as ministerial nominee. FG warns illegal miners against disrupting Nigeria's $700 billion industry. FG orders senior directors in finance ministry to resign. On sports, Super Falcons depart Softhill Hotel ahead of England clash. I am Møùrn Rabila Lawa. The news shortly. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has written the Senate intimating it of the proposed military action and other sanctions against the military officers who recently seized power in the Niger Republic by the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS. Since the soldiers seized power in Niger on July 26, the leaders of West African Regional Bloc, headed by President Bola Tinubu, has been in discussions, especially on sanctions against the coup plotters. However, the junta has remained adamant. Not even a delegation by Tinubu yesterday could de-escalate the situation. His letter to the Senate was read on the floor of the upper chamber by the President of the Senate, Ørrøwfùl. The letter read, political situation in Niger, following the unfortunate political situation in the Niger Republic, culminating in the overthrow of its president, ECOWAS, under my leadership, condemned the coup in its entirety and resolved to seek the return of the democratically elected government. In a bid to restore peace, ECOWAS convened a meeting and came out with a communique. Closure and monitoring of all land borders with Niger Republic and reactivating of the border drilling exercise. Cutting off electricity supply to Niger Republic, mobilizing international support for the implementation of the provisions of the ECOWAS communique, preventing the operation of commercial and special flights into and from Niger Republic, blockade of goods in transit to Niger, especially from Lagos and Eastern Seaport, embarking on sensitization of Nigerians and Nigerians on the imperative of these actions, particularly via social media. Military build-up and deployment of personnel for military intervention to enforce compliance of the military junta in Niger should they remain recalcitrant. Moving on to the next story. President Bola Tinubu has replaced the ministerial nominee, Miriam Shetty, choosing two others, Festus Keyamo and Dr. Mariam Mahmoud. This was revealed when Senate President Ørrøwfùl read out a letter by the President on Friday's plenary. This came moments before the fourth of screening commenced with a former governor of Ørrøwfùl State, Jigawa, who mounted the podium at 12:14 p.m. Those awaiting screening include former Governor Simon Lalong, Plateau, Bello Metawali, Zamfara, and Atiku Bagudu, Kebbi. Others are Abdullahi Gorzo, Bosun Tijani, Isiaq Salako, Tunji Alausa, Yusuf Sanunu, Ibrahim Gaidam, Lola John, Shohaibu Audu, Tahir Mamba, Abdullahi Aliyu, Al-Kali Saidu, and King Lokobori, Megari Ahmadu, and Zafania Gisalo. The federal government on Thursday warned against illegal mining activities disrupting Nigeria's $700 billion industry. According to information, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Mines and Steel Development, Dr. Mary Ogbe, made it known while inaugurating the new National Executive Council of the Miners Association of Nigeria, MAN, in Abuja. Ogbe, represented by Deputy Director Mr. Okoya Sunday, expressed concern over local industries which depend on imported minerals as their raw materials, despite the availability of such minerals in the country. She said that some minerals were exported raw to Asian and European countries at ridiculous prices without value, adding that such practice has added to the unemployment rate in the country. I seize this opportunity to draw your attention to the disheartening practices of some members of your association who interfere with the mandate of the ministry. Some of your members prefer to indulge in illegal mining activities instead of being partners in progress to develop the sector. This attitude has hindered the sector's sustainable development and constitutional huge revenue losses, she stated. According to the Solid Miners Development Fund, SMDF, Nigeria's mining sector, with 44 commercially viable minerals, is worth $700 billion. The sector generated over 7 billion naira in revenue from royalties and fees in 2022, from 2 billion naira 7 years ago. Following the reintroduction of the tenure policy in the Federal Civil Service, the federal government has ordered all of its directors of grade level 17 who spent 8 years on the post to tender their notices for immediate retirement. The directive was contained in a circular signed by the Director of Administration of the Federal Ministry of Finance, Ørrøwfùl, which was dated August 3, 2023, and was addressed to all directors and heads of units in the ministry. She noted that this was in line with Section 020909 of the revised Public Service Rules. The Office of the Head of Civil Service of the Federation on July 28, 2023 launched the newly revised Public Service Rules. It was, however, gathered that the Head of Civil Service of the Federation, Dr. Folashade Yemi Eson, had directed all ministries to ensure immediate implementation of the PSR. More than 512 directors in the civil service who have spent 8 years on the directorate cadre would be forced out of the service with the implementation of the newly revised Public Service Rules 2021 by the federal government. Accordingly, all affected directors are advised to commence the process of documentation with the Administration Department for compulsory retirement by virtue of the section under preference. Furthermore, directors in question should formally hand over to the most senior officers in their respective department and surrender all official documents, including identification cards, as well as official vehicles, if any, before exiting. Please bring the contents as the request stated. Recall that administration of late President Møùrn introduced the tenure policy when the then head of civil service of the Federation, Mr. Stephen Ørrøwfùl, was in charge. The Deputy Governor of Edo State, Philip Shuaibu, has asked a federal high court sitting in Abuja to stop the commencement of an impeachment process against him. In the suit marked FHC/ABJ/CS 1027/2023, the Inspector General of Police, State Security Service, the Governor of Edo State, the Speaker of the Edo State House of Assembly, and the Chief Judge of Edo State are the first, second, third, fourth, and fifth defendant, respectively. Tribe is seeking an interlocutory injunction restraining the third, fourth, and fifth defendant, respondent, or their agent from commencing an impeachment process against him. He also prayed the court to restrain the governor of the state or other person acting on his order from harassing and preventing him from effectively discharging his duties as the deputy governor of the state. The reliefs read in part an order of interlocutory injunction restraining the third defendant, respondent, whether by himself or his agent or persons acting for or on his behalf, from harassing, intimidating, embarrassing, and preventing the plaintiff applicant from carrying out the functions of his office as Deputy Governor of Edo State, including attending the State Executive Council meetings, functions, and other duties about his office, pending the hearing and determination of substantive suits. The chairman, Nigeria Medical Association, NMA, Lagos State Zone, Benjamin Ørrøwfùl, says the Lagos State Infrastructure Management and Regulatory Agency, LASIMRA, should take responsibility and tender an apology in relation to the elevator death of Dr. Diaso Ware. The chairman, speaking on Friday, said, "I think the first thing I was expecting from LASIMRA is to apologize for the failing of the system. I expected them since Tuesday to have written a very important apology letter that says, doctors in Lagos, we have failed you. We have murdered one of your members. We apologize. That is what a failing government will do. But today, nothing." 2 weeks from completing our one-year housemanship program, Ware died on Tuesday at the General Hospital, Odon, Lagos Island, said it was caused by a mechanical fault of one of its elevators. The NMA, in a statement on Wednesday, disclosed that the late doctor was reportedly trapped in the elevator for more than 40 minutes before she was rescued. On the breakfast show, Ørrøwfùl stated that the maintenance and control systems of the buildings are poorly structured. Apparently, the managing director, MD of the hospital, does not have a role in maintaining that building. You have a building in your facility, you don't have a control over it. I think it is wrong, he said. The NMA chairman also lamented the gap bureaucratic processes resulting in a lack of accountability and enabling suppression in the system. Diphtheria has claimed the lives of 122 children in Nigeria as at July 2023. UNICEF's communications officer in Nigeria, Ms. Safia Akau, stated on Thursday. She stated that UNICEF was amplifying its efforts to counter the growing outbreak of the disease that has affected children in 27 states of Nigeria. Diphtheria is a serious infection caused by strains of bacteria called diphtheria that make toxin. It can lead to difficulty in breathing, heart rhythm problems, and death. It usually affects the mucous membranes of the nose and throat. Diphtheria is extremely rare. Akau stated that 3,850 suspected cases of the infection were reported as of July, and that's 1,387 of the cases were confirmed. She listed states affected as Kano, Yobe, Katsina, Lagos, Sokoto, Zamfara, and the FCT, which accounted for 98% of the suspected cases. She noted that 71.5% of confirmed cases were found in children between the ages of 2 years and 14 years. Unknown gunmen have killed 2 police officers' sons and injured his wife in Malamadori local government area in Jigawa state. A resident said that the gunmen, numbering about 20 on Wednesday, invaded at about 2 a.m., carrying dangerous weapons, entered houses and robbed residents. They entered into the house of former chairman of Jigawa State Consumer Protection, Farouk Abdullahi, and robbed him the sum of over 1 million naira. They then moved to the house of one police officer who is working at Zamfara Police Command and shot his family. 2 of his sons died on the spot, and his wife sustained a degree of injuries at her arm and chest and was rushed to a hospital nearby. Police spokesman of the Jigawa State Command, DSP, Lawan Shisu Adam, confirmed the incident. According to him, police received a report that there was armed robbery at Møùrn house, located at the Abuja quarters in Malamadori local government. He explained that the incident happened on Wednesday after the hoodlums invaded the house of Møùrn and killed 2 of her sons, a 15-year-old Richard Amos and 15-year-old Cyrus Amos, and injured their mom. He said the corpses and victims were taken to hospital in Adeja, which is the general hospital, and confirmed dead by medical doctor. Foreign story. The Niger Republic coup leader has severed ties with Nigeria after the effort of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, to resolve the ongoing impasse failed. Radio France International quoted one of the junta spokesmen to have announced on national television, saying the functions of the extraordinary and plenipotentiary ambassadors of the Republic of Niger to France, Nigeria, Togo, and the United States are terminated. ECOWAS had on Sunday issued a 7-day ultimatum for the reinstatement of President Mohamed Bazoum to avoid a possible clash with the junta. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu sends a high-power delegation led by General Abdulsalami Abubakar, retired, who met with representatives of the junta on Thursday. However, Niger severed ties with Nigeria, Togo, France, and the United States. On July 26, Niger's ousted leader, Bazoum, was detained by members of the Presidential Guard, and that evening, the military announced that it has seized power. 2 days after toppling the government of Bazoum, General Abdurrahmani Tiani, the commander of Niger's Presidential Guard, declared himself the head of a transitional government. Meanwhile, the U.S. has thrown its weight behind ECOWAS, led by the Nigerian President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to reinstate Bazoum. Finally, on sports. The Nigerian female football team have departed Sofitel Hotel, where they were during the group games at the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup in Australia and New Zealand. The Rider Wardroom-led side have now lodged in Marriott Hotel in Brisbane, ahead of their crucial round of 16 encounter with the 3 Lionesses of England. The second round cracker between the Super Falcons and the 3 Lionesses of England will take place on Monday, August 7th at Lang Park in Brisbane. The Super Falcons revealed the news on their official Twitter handle. Goodbye, Southgate, our splendid stay came to an end. England qualified for the round of 16 after coming first in Group D with 9 points after 3 games. Nigeria qualified as the second place team in Group B with 5 points from 3 games. The Super Falcons' best ever result was at the USA 1999 FIFA Women's World Cup, where they reached the quarterfinal stage. They were defeated 4-3 by Brazil in the quarterfinal at the Jack and Coke Stadium in Landover. The Super Falcons have qualified for every edition of the FIFA Women's World Cup since its inaugural tournament in China in 1991. With the sports story, we've come to the end of today's world news from BGI TV Currents. Before we go, some headlines. Tinubu writes Senate seeks approval for military action against Niger. Tinubu withdraws Miriam Yeti as ministerial nominees. FG warns illegal miners against disrupting Nigeria's $700 billion industry. FG orders senior directors in finance ministry to resign. On sport, Super Falcons depart Softail Hotel ahead of England clash. For more updates of our broadcast on YouTube, our handle is BGI TV Current. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell. Select option all to access all of our broadcasts. On Facebook, Bagede Imo with Alawi Adebayo. Please like and follow the page. Thank you for watching. I am Møùrn Rabila Lawal. Good evening.